Exodus chapter 3 verses 11 says, "But Moses said to God, 'Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? Oh, I forgot. Well, I'm too busy. On the way, I had car trouble. Today, there was a lot of traffic. I just forgot to keep it in my bag.'" Now, I'm sure at one moment or other, we have all used these excuses. Well, why do we really put forward excuses? We use excuses to justify our own actions or avoid getting involved in something we would prefer to stay out of. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever made an excuse to God, or have you ever attempted to offer an excuse in order to avoid involvement in some opportunity that God was making available to you? When we look at Moses' reaction to this phenomenal opportunity that God placed before him, it was to make an excuse. Who am I? Now, perhaps Moses was thinking he was too old, or perhaps his past failures haunted him, or perhaps he had the fear of being rejected. Now, we need to remember that Moses' reluctance to do God's will was not a rejection of God's will, but the starting point for Moses. Through Moses' reluctance, he recognized his weaknesses, was able to admit his failures, could see his inadequacies, and was able to understand his need for God's help. God used Moses' excuse to reveal to him that who Moses was did not matter, but what mattered was who God is. Let us recognize our weaknesses, because the reality is we all have weaknesses and limitations. But we cannot allow them to keep us from what God wants to do in and through our lives. Do not let reluctance turn to rejection. Do not let inadequacy lead to inactivity. What excuse is holding you back from obeying God and serving Him with all your heart? Take up the challenge. Forget excuses. Start obeying.